We have no mercy for those that come to disrupt the restoration of this struggle. We don't negotiate with anyone. We will never do that. Because when you do things like that, you encourage the same thing to be inside the government, and they will continue to do what they are doing. There's an added access to
Welcome, fellow Biafrans, lovers of freedom across the world. I welcome you once again to this amazing platform where we bring you information that has to do with the United States of Biafra. Information coming from the right source. In this platform, we promote and support the restoration fully and recognition of the United States of Biafra under our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, and of the Supreme Commander of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Today, under the leadership of Dr. Ngozi Orabweze, the Deputy Prime Minister. Wherever you are and you're watching this program, I welcome you. Please like and share to all platforms. In this program, we will be continue to show you information that are coming from all angles, more especially things that has to do with the Biafran territory, regardless where it is, whether in the east, in the west, in the north, in the south. We bring it before you so that you can digest it and have a rethink and know where you stand. The only thing that can guarantee our freedom in that contraption called Nigeria is Biafra. It is either Biafra or nothing. And wherever you are, continue to support the United States of Biafra. That is the only way to go. That is the only way you can have good economy and have security. Regardless what you see today, do not get distracted. Do not get bemoved. Continue to stand your ground, to demand for self-determination because it is your right. Do not allow anyone to take away the right to self-determination, the right to self-defense, and the right to life from you. Kindly watch this video for more wisdom. Let's watch.
In the next 1 hour, I'll be taking us through this show as we talk to Chief Chukwe Udensi. Now, Chief Udensi is former Secretary General, Association of Local Governments of Nigeria, ALCON. Sir Udensi is a politician, security and forensic expert who was educated in Nigeria, United Kingdom, and United States of America. Well, in 2008, he was appointed the Secretary General of Association of Local Governments of Nigeria, ALGON, an umbrella body that oversees the activities of 774 local government areas in Nigeria. A businessman of international standing and repute, astute and intelligent, he is a member of the British Institute of Marketing, International Automobile Association, and Association of Revenue Consultants, and many other membership of international associations. Well, Sir Udensi is a Knight of St. Christopher of the Church of Nigeria Anglican Communion. He holds the prestigious Ugwaro title as well as Akudo I of Ata, Owo Sontowo of Ikorodu land, and Ebubedike I of Aba. Now, let's get into the show. Good evening to you, Sir Chukwe Udensi, and welcome to Political Lens.
Good evening. Thanks for having me.
All right, thank you, Chief. It's a pleasure for you to have honored this invitation. Now, let's get into the show. Insecurity has become one of the most pressing challenges confronting the Nigerian people. Well, formed in 2002, but became very potent and violent in 2009. Boko Haram has expanded the frontiers of terrorism in Nigeria, with branches in banditry and kidnapping. Currently, the spread of insecurity has enveloped the entire country with no region spared. Curiously, no government since then has been able to flush out the terrorists. And when President Goodluck Jonathan tried, he had a terrible pushback from the very region that was suffering the violence of terrorism. Away from terrorism, the current government has been pushing for local government autonomy. I'm happy that you were once the Secretary General of ALGON, the body that oversees the 774 local government areas. Well, the current administration, President, says that it is the best way to secure development at the grassroots levels. While it remains a constitutional matter, the federal government went to the Supreme Court to secure what looks like fragmented autonomy, which it has not clearly been able to cement. The big question is the federal government using the correct track to pursue local government autonomy? And in Abia State, the current governor is the fourth governor of Abia State, Abia State is producing in the past 26 years What has been the loss of Abians in the past 26 years? Like I said, we are joined by Chief Chukwe Udensi to explore all of these on a one-on-one chat. Chief, let's start from the serious issue of insecurity that has bedeviled the country. As a security expert, do you think that the problem of insecurity has become insurmountable? I ask this question in light of the fact that more than 12 years and more, the challenge of insecurity has become intractable. As a security expert, can you walk us through what has led to the persistence of insecurity? And not just the persistence, the thing is broadening. It's going into, moving from the northeast, where it started, there is banditry and kidnapping in the northwest. There is more like herdsmen and farmer class, what some people have called ethnic cleansing in parts of the north central and middle belt. The southeast is not spared. Just 2 weeks ago, like 19 communities in a Hiamufu part of Enugu state were chased out from their ancestral homeland, and a certain group of people are occupying that. Farmers have been killed in Ondo State. What about South-South? Chief, what has led to this persistence? Does it look like the federal government is hamstrung in the fight against insecurity?
The situation is very difficult. The situation is very complex and multidimensional. When you talk about insecurity, most people will focus on just kidnapping and maybe banditry. It is more to it than just kidnapping and banditry, especially what we have seen from the records we have on the crime desk of the nation, which we always call SITREP, the situational report in the nation. It's very disturbing and extremely very unfortunate. What do I mean by that? If you look outside kidnapping and banditry and look at some motives, even in kidnapping and banditry, the motives are very disturbing. We have it ranges from land grabbing, also to land disputes. It even goes up to family disputes.
Hello, Chief. Chief, I can't hear you. I've lost your audio feed.
Sexuality.
Okay. Go ahead, sir.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, sir. Go ahead.
I'm saying that the issue of banditry and kidnapping is not all the insecurity we have.
Okay.
We have a whole lot more than that. Land grabbing, land disputes, family disputes, spousal dispute, marital disputes, even for sexual purposes. People are being kidnapped for sexual purposes. Not even the issue of men kidnapping women, no. The issue of men kidnapping fellow men. We have homosexuals amongst them. And we also have very disturbing cases of kidnapping associated now with business disputes. Business disputes. So when you look at the kidnapping we have today, it is not essentially kidnapping for ransom. It is essentially kidnapping with different multi-dimensional motives.
Okay.
And as a security consultant, my first and foremost job will be, what is the motive?
Okay.
It is from the motive you'll be able to determine how to classify the insecurity. But let us go to the problem itself. If you talk about essentially maybe kidnapping and banditry, which is very, very, very rampant, the crime desk suggests that nothing has changed. It is still extremely very rampant. And the disturbing thing about it is that the government is not serious.
Exactly the point, Chief. I want us to explore, the role the government has played. And I would like for us to, like what you have said looks to me like it's a problem of insecurity, but more like a case of law enforcement when you talk about business dispute, family disputes and all of that, and sexual kidnapping and all of that. I would like for us to focus on the broader issue of terrorism, herdsmen and farmers clashes, ethnic cleansing and all of that, which remains at the purview, of the government, more like the national security, away from the police problems. Like police is clearly deals with police, deal with law enforcement. I want us to focus on terrorism per se. And why do you think that terrorism has persisted? And why I like the fact that you said, look, government looks like it's a very difficult situation for the government. Why is that?
I was trying to tell you that terrorism is not necessarily terrorism without a motive.
Okay.
That terrorism might be there just for family disputes. Terrorism is there, kidnapping is there for solving business disputes. It's there. The motive is what determines what it is all about.
Okay.
But generally, kidnapping, banditry, the general insecurity we have today. You talked about what is the government doing? The government is liable more for inaction than for action or wrong action. There is no action at all. In fact, we have so many people who believe that it looks as if this government, or maybe those in authority, are benefiting from this insecurity. I'm on the front line. I'm the systems consultant of Interpol at the National Central Bureau, and I'm also the vice president of the International Security Association. We see it every day, and we're asking, if you move from Nigeria to your right, the right of your neighbor, you go to the Republic of Benin, there is no insecurity. There is no kidnapping. There's no banditry. Then you move forward a little bit to Ghana, the same story. Less than 45 minutes flight. Our neighbors, same Africa. What are they doing that we're not doing? There is so much they're doing that we're not doing.
Okay.
We don't have enough courage. The government doesn't have enough courage to stem the insecurity. It appears there's some lax attitude of it does not concern me. It only bothers to them when a VIP is taken in, a VIP loses his life, or a family member of a VIP loses their family members. That is the only way you hear it.
Okay, Chief. I like the fact that you talked about motive. Now, what would be the motive for the lackadaisical attitude of the government? Does it speak to complicity? Is the motive economic benefit, or is it political benefit for the government?
I was listening to Zulum 2 days ago, and he said that he has already rehabilitated 300,000 bandits, and he's asking government to reimburse him. 300,000, more than the number of our army, very close to the number of our policemen. This is what he has rehabilitated. There is business affair that goes with this thing. That is why I think government is very unserious. Let me ask you very clearly. About 95% to 98% of people who are being kidnapped, we are told that they are kept in the forests. In the forests. Don't we have the capacity? Don't we have the affordability to comb our forests and make sure the bandits are not there? You have seen them take over highways and take over highways for days. For days. And we have all these lots and lots of men hanging general ranks and all forms of law enforcement agencies in the country. Look at, we can't remove ragtag armies that are in the forests. They are ragtag. They're not fully coordinated. They are ragtag army. Government is not serious. That's the simple language to it. We have advised severally. We have begged severally. The tools are not there. Every profession has its tools, like security. There are tools.
Okay,
the tools are not there.
Okay, Chief, when you talk about tools, the 2024 budget had 3.7 trillion naira for the Ministry of Defense. How much more do they require to do the work that they are supposed to do?
We're going to ask them where the money is going to, and let me give you several instances. Now, we have an active disturbance. Let's say an entry strategy into an area of violent situation, active violence. That's an entry strategy. One of the entry strategies is the vehicle you use in entering there. It must be armored. You must have to protect those who are going to protect the people. The question is, has it ever happened? You had the one that happened in Biafra the other day. All the ones you have heard, you see policemen in vehicles that do not protect them. They don't know where the criminals are. The criminals know that they are coming. So we do not even have the basic entry strategy. You cannot enter into any area of active violence without the proper vehicle. How many do we have in the country? Where are they? If you know the number of policemen and number of law enforcement that dies every day for lack of use of those vehicles, that is a disturbing thing.
Okay.
And also,
okay.
Also body armor. Haven't you seen them on the highways? Do they have body armor? Do they protect themselves? The minimum kitting for a bit in a violent situation is not there. Does it mean that we can't afford it? Does it mean that the country cannot afford it to protect those whose job it is to maintain law and order and protect life and property in the country? They are not serious.
Okay, Chief. I like the fact that you talk about seriousness, and apparently, from what you have said, the government cannot even account for the 3.7 trillion naira that was earmarked for the Ministry of Defense in the 2024 budget. Chief, let's go to the Southeast. Now, the issue in the Southeast is, look, Nnamdi Kanu is currently undergoing trial, charged with terrorism against his own people, and it looks like the federal government is saying that, look, Nnamdi Kanu is the cause of the problem in the Southeast. Chief, in all honesty, do you think that Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB were the real cause of insecurity in the Southeast? As a security expert, I know that you have a certain level of, intelligence to what goes on within the security circle. Do you think that Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB were clearly responsible and still responsible for the insecurity that pervades in the Southeast?
Is Nnamdi Kanu the only separatist we have in this country? Don't you know about Showun? Don't you know about what is happening in the north, southwest, everywhere? We have those who feel genuinely that they are being undermined in a country that they are not taking part of. And they are saying, listen, we need a change. Nnamdi Kanu, if you look at what the courts have said, the courts have not said that Nnamdi Kanu is a criminal. We have 3 existing judgments, one from High Court, one from Court of Appeal. Even the Supreme Court have adjudicated and even said that the rendition, his kidnapped from Kenya to Nigeria, is an illegal rendition. The world courts have said so too, that you do not illegally rendition anybody. We have processes. I work for Interpol. If you have any problem with anybody, you inform Interpol. Interpol has its SOP. It has its standard operating procedure. Nnamdi Kanu is not a problem. The problem is that we have a country where there is inequality, where there is the desire for a group of people to suppress unduly another group. And those who raise their heads up and say, this is wrong, they are being branded all kinds of names. They are being branded all kinds of things. Nnamdi Kanu, is he the only one who is saying that he requires self-determination? He's not the only one, but he's the only one who is in detention. So I do not think that Nnamdi Kanu is the problem. But I know that his continuous detention is a problem. The continuous illegal detention of Nnamdi Kanu is a problem. It is not his detention, his process. No, it is his detention. We have all the various levels of the courts of law have indicated that the process is a wrong process. In fact, the very basic thing government used initially in renditing him illegally into the country, which is that he jumped bail. The Court of Appeal said he didn't jump no bail. He was running for his life. A few days to his day in court, his house was attacked, invaded by the military. Several people were killed in that process, in the process of looking for Nnamdi Kanu. If you really honestly wanted to arrest Nnamdi, wouldn't you have waited for a few days more when he was coming to court? Government did not do that. Lawlessness, recklessness, and the misuse and abuse of all processes, legal processes, military processes, and even international laws have been abused by the country. And then nothing is happening about it. People are not happy about that. And that is why you see that level of resentment, the level of anger. Releasing Nnamdi Kanu because his continued detention is an illegality. The courts have said so. International bodies have said so. Okay. Everybody knows so.
All right.
So if you continue to keep him there, and then you expect some miracle to happen, that the people of Nnamdi Kanu will maintain law and order, it's not going to happen.
Okay. Now, Chief, before we talk about local government autonomy, one last question on insecurity. Do you approve of Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB's method in the process for agitation, for self-determination?
No, I don't approve of it. I don't approve of any form of violence. I don't approve of any form of separation. I don't approve of it. But as to what they are doing is legitimate, of course it's legitimate. But I don't approve of it. I would prefer for us to live in one country. I would prefer a situation where we have one Nigeria. The more, the merrier. But let there be fairness. Let there be equity in that arrangement. Where the equity is lacking, certainly people must agitate to live an unjust marriage.
All right.
Certainly.
Now, okay. All right. Now, Chief, let's talk about local government autonomy. As a former Secretary General of Argon, and knowing the interactions between the federal, states, and local governments, do you think that the current pursuit of local government autonomy by the president will yield any meaningful result? I'm talking about the way he's going about it. First of all, the Attorney General went to the Supreme Court, secured judgment in favor of, paying direct to local government and all of that. And governors are more like frustrating the effort of opening bank accounts with the CBN. And as a matter of fact, is LG autonomy achievable in Nigeria under the present structure that we have?
It is achievable. The government have started on a good footing by going to Supreme Court. At least there's a legal framework you can stand on and say this is it. The next step is the amendment of those provisions that gives governors the joint accounts. Yes, Supreme Court have said, yes, money should be paid directly to local governments from the federation account. If a state government does not do that or opposes it, they have broken no law. The law still remains there, and the law says very clearly that there must be a joint account of state and local governments. And it is the duty of that joint account to translate into what they call JAC, sharing formula. And also that it is the state legislature that should make laws governing local governments. What do they do? They make laws where they take funds meant for local governments for their own use. So the first step has been started. It's good in the right direction, but more needs to be done. The next thing is to remove from our laws those areas where that makes governors comfortable. Once it is removed, now you require the strength of character of the president to direct that any local government that does not provide an account for direct payment, no payment should go to the state. That's where we are.
Okay, right. Chief, I'm happy the direction you have traveled now. But you also know that the local governments are clearly a creation of the Constitution. There's an act, it's a creation of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Now, is it possible for the Supreme Court to amend that section of the Constitution without going through the National Assembly? I said this because, we tried that in 2022, and part of the processes is that if there's an amendment at the National Assembly, 2/3 of the 36 states, which is like 26 states of the Federation, must have to also assent to that legislation for it to be amended in the National Assembly, in the Constitution. We tried that in 2022.
That is the lacuna. That is the lacuna.
Exactly the point. So, Chief, my question is, if the federal government through the Attorney General is traveling in the direction of the Supreme Court, the Supreme Court can clearly not amend the Constitution, and because of that, the governors are holding on that. They are saying, we tried it in 2022, and only 6 states, including our state, the state you and I come from, approved of it, but the others, 20 states couldn't. So that amendment died down. Chief, do you think that there is any way we can get local government autonomy without having to pass through that process, which is more like difficult? You understand that the House of Assembly are clearly under the terms of the governors. Would they allow that to happen? Because local governments have become more like special purpose vehicles for them.
The local government autonomy you're talking about is only financial autonomy. The rest of the autonomy, they are managing their things, but there's no financial autonomy. That's what makes the autonomy problematic. And if you want the autonomy to be effective, cut off the supply of money to states. If you say that, okay, well, you heard when the federal government took the decision that any state that have not conducted an election into a local government, that local government will not receive their money. They gave a timeline, and there was a panic. Every state made sure that they conducted local government elections. The federal government can go further to say that in keeping with the Supreme Court judgment, that any state or any local government that does not provide an account for direct payment by CBN will not receive their money, because in obedience to the Supreme Court judgment, no money should go to the state for the purpose of a local government. So if the federal government takes that route, you will see that everyone will sit up.
But they have followed that route, but it doesn't look like it's working. They are not opening accounts. Local governments are not opening accounts because the governors don't want them to do that. Chema Kindle went to court. Some of them made out laws in their local government that said the moment the money comes, you take it back to the state coffers. So, where does that leave us? Okay.
There is no directive that no monies meant for local government should go to states. Yes, the Supreme Court has given the judgment. Let the federal government, whose duty it is through the federal allocation account to make these monies payable to local government, let them take that route. If they take that route and say no monies meant for local government will ever go to a state, that is what we would have started.
Sorry, Chief, wouldn't that be a violation of the Constitution that clearly makes provision for the joint allocation account committee between the states and the local government? Wouldn't that be a violation of that provision?
The Supreme Court can kill or bring to life. The Supreme Court can make laws for the nation. I hope you know that.
Okay.
That is the Supreme Court can make to life or kill. And that position of the Supreme Court is very clean and clear. And what the Supreme Court have said here is that monies meant for local governments should be paid directly into account of the local government.
Okay, Chief.
All right. It's a different ball.
All right, Chief. One last question on this issue, on this financial autonomy. Now, when there is a conflict between the laws of the Supreme Court, laws of the Federation, and that of the Constitution, which one takes precedence?
Well, I can't hear you.
Okay, Chief, I'm saying when there is a conflict between the laws made by the Supreme Court and that of the Constitution, which is the ground norm on which we operate, which one takes precedence?
The definition of the Supreme Court takes precedence. Whatever the Supreme Court says is the law.
Okay.
Because they are supreme.
All right. All right. Now, Chief, some people have argued that local government autonomy...
They are final.
Okay.
The Supreme Court is final.
Okay. Now, some people have argued that local government autonomy will multiply Nigeria's problem from 37, that is the presidency, and 36 governors, and that of the FCT. So that if you grant local government autonomy, it will be 37 problems plus 774. They said it's because governors, according to Nigerians, have caused more problems than the ones they have solved. So the question is, should we hand over such powers like the president and the governors have over our finances to the local governments, multiplying the problems we have in this country? Chief, should we travel in that direction? Is it not possible that we deal with 37 problems rather than dealing with 811 problems at the same time?
Whoever brings that idea is part of the criminals we want to avoid in this country. It's a criminal suggestion that paying local governments their money amounts to further problems. What is that? That's the criminal perspective to it.
But Chief, isn't that what it is? We are already having problems with our governors.
We might as well banish the states too, so that we can have just one problem at the center. If that's what you're suggesting.
No, Chief, I'm not the one suggesting. People are asking. They say it's easier to manage 37 problems than 811 problems.
Yes, mathematically it is easier, but the relationship is not functional.
Okay.
It's not a functional relationship. The truth remains that we have a system that is working around the world.
Okay. Now, Chief, let's talk about you and politics. About your philanthropy and the gubernatorial ambition. You have been involved in the payment of
the criminal tendency.
Okay. Chief, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
I want us to talk about your philanthropy and your gubernatorial ambition. You know, you have made attempts several times to become governor of Abia State. But before that, you have been paying stipends, more like pension to pensioners in Abia State. I know a couple of people who are beneficiaries. Chief, was this altruistic or was it dependent on your ambition to become governor of Abia State? Were you doing it out of your church mind, out of your goodwill, or was it because you wanted to use that platform to become governor, to warm yourself into the hearts of Abia people?
This is the one you see. And you saw it because it became a matter, a national issue, that pensioners were suffering and somebody came to help. In 1993, I established Abia Widows Funds. I've been running the Abia Widows Funds. Have you heard it in the radio? Have you heard it in the media? Don't know that I'm running the Indigent Educational Fund in Abia State. Have you heard it? You have not heard it. Well, if anybody says that I'm doing it for political reasons, let him go and do his for political reasons too. If everybody else start bringing the monies out and giving to poor people, helping the widows, helping pensioners for political reasons, then we should have a better place. Let there be a reason why you do it. If you think mine is political, so be it. I don't have any response for. There's so many things I like doing. Replying to nonsense is not one of them.
Okay.
I do my charity work. Okay. I started from 1993, the Chikwe Udensi Foundation, 1993, and I've been running it. It has not stopped. I'm still running it. So whether I'm contesting for governorship or not, I'll continue my charity works and continue it effectively.
Okay, now, Chief, let me ask you another personal question. I hope you don't mind. What transpired in 2020? What transpired in 2022? Because I understand, I've been following your career. You know, we come from the same local government, so I've been following your career, and I know how much you have done for the All Progressives Grand Alliance. In 2019, they left you and gave the ticket to Alex Oti. You didn't leave the party. After a while, when Alex lost the election, he left. He went to APC. In 2022, you were there. You remained from 2019 to 2022, and you kept building the party. All of a sudden, when Greg Ibe lost in the PDP, he came back to ABGA, and they gave the ticket to him and left you. What happened, Chief? Can you let us understand what transpired? Because
I'm surprised you do not. I'm surprised you do not know what happened. The one for 2019, when Alex came, was essentially a matter for money, which, you know, I will help genuinely in the party, but when you give me a bill to pay for an office, I will not pay it. That's what happened in 2019. For 2022, it was an issue of signing agreements. I hope you saw what agreement Greg Ibe signed It was first of all given to me to sign. I refused it. I cannot sign on the basis of how much those who call themselves stakeholders will be paid every month. I will not do that. People said, oh, you can sign it, but when you become the governor, you renege on it. I said, no. One has to, from day one, say what you will do and what you will not do. You see the problem some of the politicians are having today. They tell you what they will do. When they enter there, they'll start changing colors, changing position. You remember the issue of pensioners? Some of us are very happy with what the Insecurity is doing. But you heard what I said during the electioneering, when the Insecurity said that before December, he will pay the pensioners and the gratuities. I told him I wouldn't make that promise. It is not doable. It is not capable. It's not possible. So what happened in 2022 that gave Greg Ibe the ticket is that Greg signed an agreement, a copy which is in public domain. You saw what they signed, how they shared offices. Of course, offices will be shared, but there are people whom I know personally there that don't have the competence. For example, the one they want me to make the Attorney General. I said I will not make him Attorney General. I know him personally. He can be any other commissioner. But the position of Attorney General, it's not something you give to a greenhorn.
Thank you so much for watching the program. I appreciate you for your patience to watch from beginning to end. I hope you have learned a lot from this very program that I just played, this video. Please like and share the video. Share to all platforms. After sharing the video, now you can go to the comment section and put down your comments. Whatever suggestions, contributions you have to make, what do you think about the video I just played? Go to the comment section and put your comment. I will go to the comment section and I bet you I am learning a lot from there and you can equally learn from there. Let us share our experience on that comment section. Thank you so much and stay blessed. Don't forget to share, and we continue to bless you as you share. Biafra government, peace, progress, unity, and equity. We move.